All right, people, what's up? What's up? Welcome to our show, which is going to go through some big screen energy changes. Is that
Big
what I did
screen
there?
energy.
Yeah. So, we're going to talk about IronHeart this week, but before we get started, let me introduce you to my co hosts. First up is Mike,
Big Mike, what's up?
and next is Kaede.
Hey, what's going on, people?
All right, so we're going to get into it. So we will be upfront and let you know there's going to be some slight spoilers, slight because of the simple fact I have not watched all three. An episode and a half in. Mike and Kayode have watched everything. I plan on finishing everything this evening, as soon as I'm done, as a matter of fact.
You
But
underachiever.
hey, it is what it is, man. I've been busy doing stuff.
Life, man, life.
Life be lifing.
We are
So,
all in
go
our
do.
well, not you, but we are all grown men with jobs. We all got life.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm not caught up. So it's understood. But anyway, since you got the most mouth, sir, what's your opinion? What? Let's start with you. What's your opinion of Ironheart?
I think it's good so far. It's not blowing my mind or anything. I think that it's definitely strong as far as starting out, and obviously for folks who saw Riri Williams in Wakanda Forever and seeing how well that character was received in that film, it was made sense to give her her own little quarter of the MCU to play in, especially since she had her own series in the Marvel comics for a while.
Yeah.
But Dominique Thorne as Riri, she's still solid as the character. You've got a pretty decent supporting cast, although I honestly did not care for Eric Andre.
Really?
He wasn't in it long. He
I
wasn't
know,
even in it long.
I know,
That we know of.
yeah, but yeah, didn't care for him, and I also feel like one of the things across these 3 episodes, and hopefully that changes over the next 3 episodes, is that Parker, aka the Hood's crew, gets a little more character development.
Yeah.
Because you have
They kind of introduced them, and then that was it.
Yeah,
It was like this is this person. These are and it was just like, and then that was it. And it was just like, now you follow them throughout what's going on.
Yeah. So, Mike, what's your take on it so far?
Pretty much the same as Kaede's. I'm okay with it. It's not mind blowing. It isn't groundbreaking. The first 2 episodes to me were okay. I think the third episode so far was the best one that we've gotten so far.
the third episode is where things really escalate.
Yeah, where
of
the
stuff
crap hits
gets
the fan. It's like
Yeah.
A lot of tension, things like that.
a lot of tension,
yeah.
especially with Manny Montana's character.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
he plays Parker's cousin.
But
Yeah.
he's always, I feel like he's typecast in like that gangster role of he's always
When I saw him, I
Even
remember
when
that.
he was playing a undercover cop on Graceland on USA back in the
Right,
day,
right.
his
Yeah.
vibe was still the same across
Yeah.
Good Girls, and now in
he
Ironheart,
pretty much
it's-
plays himself in every role. Like
Yeah.
The Rock.
Wait, what was that? What was that?
What? I didn't hear what?
Don't worry. But I think one of the strongest members in the cast is Lyric Ross as Natalie.
Yes. 100%.
I'm getting to that. Let me get on that.
Okay.
So, all right. So, I think the feeling is unanimous because I agree with you all, but I think so far where I'm not happy, and I think I recognize where I'm not happy is I feel like with a lot of the Marvel properties, it's like, why is it when you look at Ironheart, why is it when you look at Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, and then more to the point, especially with Sam Wilson and Falcon and Winter Soldier, why we gotta struggle all the time? I feel like with what happened in Wakanda Forever, I was hoping maybe just a little bit more of Riri Williams, maybe being a little bit more established or not going through the stuff that she's going through. It's like I get it. maybe I'm being that guy, like really, like what's the problem? It's a relatable character, and honestly, I think right now the saving grace is Lyric Ross as Natalie, because her all of a sudden popping up as the AI. I was like, okay, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
That would really make me pay attention. That and I know somewhere along the line, because Alden Ehrenreich, aka Han Solo,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
playing Zeke. I want to see where that's going to go.
Yeah.
I really want to see.
Oh no. That's Joe McGillicuddy.
That. Oh yes.
That-
Small
that-
spoiler.
That seems fake. But okay.
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to piggyback off of what you said, though, Harry. Like,
What?
I don't even think it's just a us thing. Because if you think about it, even in like Daredevil Reborn, right?
Yeah.
Or Born Again.
I don't even, okay, let's even take it to Star Wars, right? Even in Kenobi.
Yeah.
How come it's like DC, no, I said DC, Disney / Marvel, whatever, like their projects, it's always like, okay, now when we have a show, the hero has to have this many episodes of struggle before they fight. Like, that's just, like, even what, like I said, with Kenobi, why is Kenobi struggling?
Well, first of all, in my opinion, Kenobi didn't need to exist.
I agree.
Fair. But what I'm saying is,
I
he's like,
understand
oh, I
what
don't
you're
want to
saying.
put on the suit. I don't want to do this, and I don't want. I'm like, stop
Or-
doing that. Just hit the
okay.
ground running. We already know these characters.
Right.
Just hit the ground running. I don't need a struggle, and it's not just us. It's like, stop doing that formula. Not
gonna
every
reach
show has
out.
to have the same formula.
I'm going to reach out and then I'm going to pull it back. So with Kenobi, I think would have been better served never showing Darth Vader at all in the same space with Kenobi.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't resist it now. They're
Right.
they have to do the redemption for everybody now. Because
Right.
to be fair, I did like what they did with Ahmed Best in The Mandalorian. That was
Yeah.
definitely warranted. But bringing
Yeah.
back Boba Fett, bringing back
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor for Obi-Wan. I didn't even watch Obi-Wan. I was like, I don't care.
Right. It would have been better served with him just going up against the hench people
Yeah.
that Vader had chasing after him. But coming back to Ironheart, you know what? Here's the thing. I get the thing of, okay, she's the smartest person in the room. You know what they say? If you're the smartest person in the room, leave. So she
Right.
was the smartest person at her school.
Yeah.
She did the smart thing. She left. But I feel like you couldn't reach out to Shuri and like, hey, I need a gig. Hook me up.
Yeah.
You know,
Like it was always like, once she left Wakanda, they were just like, okay, never call me again. Bye.
right.
Thanks for saving Wakanda, but don't ever call me again, bro.
Mhm.
Because one of the things I did like about that scene where she gets kicked out of MIT, where she starts kind of monologuing,
Yeah.
and her advisor just immediately goes, "If you don't shut up with that crap."
Yeah,
Right.
Because we gave you so much latitude. We basically created a program
For
around
you.
you and your intellect, specifically tailor made for you. I absolutely love that, because one of the things, looking at some of our Black media, sometimes there is a little bit of monologuing and sloganizing in
Right.
the way we convey certain ideas, where you're just kind of doing it for the Black Twitter audience,
Yeah.
and that gets old really fast.
Yeah, I like how you said that. Just for that audience, yes.
So to have Riri have that moment and think that it was going to carry over, and the advisor just saying, "No, shut up."
Yeah.
It's almost the equivalent of all those years ago when it was still cool to watch on Cosby Show when Theo did that monologue for Cliff.
Yeah, from the first episode. Yeah,
And he looked at him.
he said,
Boy, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Yep.
See, what you're not going to do,
exactly.
you're not going to sit here and talk all this trash and think we okay with it.
Yeah.
You damn near burnt half the school down. And that Wakanda foolishness, we're not even going to talk about that.
All right, we ain't gonna talk about it.
And you know what? And that is the thing. Like, for people, if you really want to get the full story of what's going on, you kind of really need to watch the first half of Wakanda Forever.
Yeah,
Just the first half.
Well, you need the whole thing, really. But,
Yeah, exactly.
but the first half with her being in school and being absconded by Shuri
Shuri
and
and Okoye.
yeah. So, but like I said, I'm hoping this does get better. I'm really still am kind of pissed that they didn't do much marketing. I felt like
that was on purpose. That was on purpose.
Yeah, and I was about to say, and actually, how I felt was people complaining about it not being marketed was marketing. But Mike, I think you know more than I do, so go for it.
So here's my hot take on what's going on there. So Marvel now, because of all the backlash from, remember at first it was like content.
Yeah.
And we've actually found out now that, and it's been publicly, relayed, that it was from Disney. Disney was like, we need as much content as possible. And Marvel Studios really didn't want to do that at first because they knew it was going to be quantity over quality.
Right.
And it ended up being that way. So now they're shifting in a different direction. And remember, this show has been pretty much wrapped for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
They stopped shooting like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be released in 2023.
Exactly.
And then
in my opinion, and I kind of want to get on the bandwagon where it's like, oh yeah, this is a black show and they're trying to keep it down. But this is most likely or mostly Marvel Studios. They're not going in this direction anymore with so much content, and they kind of narrowing down what they're doing. So they're just like, okay, we're just going to put this show out just because we have it. We're not going to just cancel it. But we're not really going to market it too much either because we're not going to do anything with this moving forward anyway.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like we don't want to be like WB and Batgirl.
Right. Yeah. So they're putting it out. They did as little marketing as possible because they're like, well, we're not going to continue this story anyway. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter.
If I remember correctly, this is the final story in phase 5 anyway. So
yes.
So it's not necessarily a throwaway, but it's a throwaway.
Yeah. Because they're moving on. They're not nothing that, even however this show ends, the only continuation we will see of Riri Williams' character anyway would be like in another project, like in someone else's project, in an Avengers movie, like she shows up somewhere else. But
with everybody in Bob that they put in those next two movies, I mean,
exactly.
Might as well throw
She'll probably pop up.
But Ironheart was never going to get a season 2 at this point anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Or own movie. So at this point, they were just kind of like, we're going to put it out. We're not really going to market it because, I mean, this isn't going to continue in the first place, but we're at least just going to put it out there for people to see it.
Yeah. That's the thing. Now, see, looking at it like that, I get that because Mike, you've heard me complain over the past couple of years. I'm just so tired of like stuff being thrown at us left and right.
Yep.
Give stuff a chance to breathe.
Because that was Disney's fault.
Right. Because I feel like, okay, if you put stuff out, give it a chance to breathe for a little bit and get people hyped up for the next one instead of every year. Look, you got 4 movies and 3 TV shows coming. I'm like, okay, we're getting burned out. Y'all.
Because even Kevin Feige didn't even have a say. Like Kevin Feige even now has come out and been like, he was overworked. He couldn't even oversee everything.
Right.
And that was from like the tip top, and he could do nothing about it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're where we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right. So let's go on and wrap this up. With any final thoughts, because like I said, I think this is pretty good. I'll stay on board.
It's decent.
Yeah. It's not the worst possible thing that's out there.
Oh no. No. I'm looking at review. Of course, it gets review bombed because the lead is.
I don't give a damn. Listen,
no, I don't care either. But it's still, I hate the whole review bomb thing. Just like people are review bombing Superman already. But anyway, I digress. But they're review bombing this just because the lead is a black woman.
Here's my thing on review bombing.
It's a decent show. There have been way worse shows than this in the first 3 episodes.
Here's my thing on review bombing. Remember, if you've ever seen the Superman joke from Family Guy where they parody him taking the cellophane S and throwing it on one of the Phantom Zone prisoners, and then he just gets up and is like,
Oh, they didn't do anything at all.
That was a minor inconvenience. That's how I feel about review bombing. Shut up. It's rage bait that you fall for every time. Every time. And that's the thing that annoys me is that the prevailing voices about the show now, the conversation online is shaped around the review bombing instead of being like, this is a show I was looking forward to. This is a show I want to support, and that's still there. But the thing that annoys me in any fandom, as far as any genre of media that comes out now, is people that cannot articulate their happiness about something without acknowledging the negative attitudes towards it. Well, and this was the thing with the Marvels when that came out, where I was just thinking to myself, okay, if you're going to blame this movie not making its budget back on Trolls when the movie before it made over $1 billion, you are an idiot.
Yeah. Well, here's the fun thing. IronHeart right now is 67% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Critics or audience?
Both. Average tomatometer is 68%. Average popcorn monitor, which is the audience, is 67%. So it's doing well.
Yeah, I mean that's still fresh. It's not rotten.
Yeah,
you have to be under 60 to be rotten.
Yeah,
it's aggressively okay.
Yeah,
yep.
And that's the thing where people, my thoughts. It's okay. It's fine.
And the problem is y'all just
kind of is the problem, like with the MCU now, that people are complaining about, where everything is either subpar or just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the problem with the audience is the fact that they can't unhinge their jaws from Rotten Tomatoes jock.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
they want everything to be 80-90%, and if it's not, they catch a fit. And I'm like,
what the hell? So,
and also watch it for yourself and make your own decision. Stop going off of what people say and just say, well, I'm not going to watch it because everyone hates it. Watch it for yourself.
Yeah, think for yourself. But
that's a big problem we got in general right now.
True.
On that point, we are going to bounce and we're going to let everybody go and enjoy, and we'll see you all next week.
All right. Peace. Jack O'Connell for 007.
Goodbye.
Henry Cavill for 007.
Idris Elba for 007.
Aha.
Oh, thank you for being so woefully unimaginative.
And we're out.
Bye. Peace.